The King and the Brow are now teammates. They immediately become a historically talented front court. Welcome to Game Time. Chris Miles here with Mike Fratello. Czar, what do you make of the Lakers' sense of urgency to get this deal done before free agency and before the NBA draft?
Both teams got what they wanted. LA got another superstar to go alongside LeBron. For New Orleans, they got a future, a bright one out of this deal. And think about it, having number 1 pick and now adding number 4 pick, Griff had to get this done because next week is the draft. And he wants to be able to use those picks, obviously, with this draft class to get an outstanding young player or put it in a deal to make something else happen.
And he also gets recent top draft picks and number 2 overall pick Lonzo Ball, also number 2 overall pick Brandon Ingram. Just a few years ago, those guys, Josh Hart, and those 3 future first-round draft picks, including, like you said, the 4th pick in this week's draft, all headed to New Orleans in this trade. Let's welcome in Charles Barkley, and let's get right down to business. Anthony Davis traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. What does that do for the balance of power out west and for the Lakers as far as making them contenders for next season?
Well, obviously, it's the worst-kept secret in the history of pro sports. You knew he was going to go to the Lakers at some point. I think New Orleans did as good as they could do under the circumstances. Listen, you got LeBron, you got AD. You're in the conversation. Because this thing has just flipped on its head the last week with KD out for next year, Clay out probably for next year also. But listen, they're going to have to put some pieces around these guys. I mean, they gave up a lot, so it makes them a power player in the West. But I still like Portland. I like Denver. The Rockets are going to be right there. So this doesn't make them automatically the favorite.
You mentioned a lot of those very talented teams that, showed that they had a lot of championship prowess in the playoffs this postseason. But looking at the Lakers and thinking that they have $32 million in cap space going forward, what do you think is their biggest position of need, or what do you think they need to do to fill out the rest of this roster?
Well, they're going to need some shooting. I mean, the Lakers were the worst. I think I saw a stat. I think they were the worst three-point shooting contest team in the league. But like I say, listen, when you got Kyle Kuzma, LeBron and Anthony Davis, you can find some spare parts. There's going to be some guys who want to play in L.A., just for the lifestyle. But like I say, it doesn't make them the prohibitive favorite right off the bat. I don't believe that at all.
Hey, Chuck, with the guys they have right now, as you look at it, they have their front line, if they wanted to, in place with LeBron. He can go 3-4. Anthony Davis can go 4-5. Kuzma could go 2-3. So you could go Kuzma, LeBron, Anthony Davis up front, but their backcourt now has a ton of gaps. When you look who's out there, Kemba Walker's out there, Derrick Rose is out there. They could bring back Rajon Rondo. Bledsoe's a free agent. Kyrie is a player's option. What do you like as far as a match there for them?
Well, it's clear there's going to be some on the perimeter. They need some guards. I mean, they got no guards as we speak right now. So it's going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting summer for the NBA. There's so many guys who on TV and radio have been lying for the last 6 months, saying somebody from their camp told me they're going here, 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 or here. So it's been a lot of lying on TV and radio the last 6 months, Mike, with all these reporters making up stuff. But clearly the Lakers need some perimeter help in the guard position, a 1-2. But like I say, they got this. That doesn't mean they're going to get these guys just because they're out there. I mean, Kemba's in a unique situation. You got Jimmy Butler out there. You got Kyrie. I mean, this thing is going to be crazy for the next couple months.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Lakers. On the Pelicans side of things, clearly they got younger, and it looks like they're going into the movement of youth with Lonzo Ball. Zion Williamson sounds exciting. Brandon Ingram showed some promise this year. How do you like the pieces that they got back, particularly those draft picks, including the 4th pick in this draft?
Well, I think it's as good as they could do. I mean, I think those guys are going to play well with Zion. I'd use that 4th pick. Listen, I might probably trade Drew Holiday because he's an older guy, and we're clearly building for the future. He's a very good player, Drew Holiday is. But, you're clearly going with a youth movement. And, one guy nobody is talking about is DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. Everybody's talking about, I know Zion is going to go number one, but after getting a chance to watch this kid play at March Madness multiple times, you think about it. Virginia had the worst upset in college basketball history last year. What was the only thing they added to the team? DeAndre Hunter. And they win the national championship, and he's the most valuable player. So all these teams out there, don't be sleeping on DeAndre Hunter. But listen, to get back to your original point, David Griffin did the best he could under the circumstances. I like where they're going. They got a bunch of good young pieces. They're building for the future. So if you're a Pelican fan, you got to be happy.
Now, switching back to the Lakers and looking at the fact that Chris Haynes reported that Anthony Davis will not sign an extension with the Lakers, as a lot of people anticipated in the original reporting. Does that surprise you a bit that he's not making that long-term commitment to the Lakers as he heads out there?
No, because what they want to keep that cap space. They can go out and get another player. I mean, he's going to be their property at the end of the next year. They don't have to sign him to a long-term deal. But see, if they sign him to a long-term deal, they won't have all that cap space. So it's a great business move by the Lakers. They got Anthony Davis under contract for 1 year, and now they still got that cap space. So that's strictly a business move by the Lakers, and it's a smart business move.
All right, I know we got you on your first weekend off after the playoffs ended. We appreciate you taking some time spending with us.
No problem, man. You guys keep up the great work. Miss y'all.
So what players can the Lakers afford now? Tom Penn joins us next to break it down. Well, LeBron James welcomed his new teammate to the Lakers.
Maybe he's got an extra house for him out there. What do you think? He could borrow for a while.
Can I get a room? That's all I want.
Might be able to.
To help us understand the Lakers cap situation post Anthony Davis trade, let's welcome in Tom Penn, our analyst and former vice president of basketball operations for the Portland Trail Blazers. Okay, the Lakers have just 5 players under contract for next season, including Anthony Davis. Apparently, they have about $32 million in cap space. Is that enough to fill out the rest of this roster?
I think it's going to be more like 27, 28 million after you count all the different things that go into stacking up the roster. So is it enough? I don't know. Well, sure. They're in a better place. It's a great move for both teams. You got Anthony Davis at 37, LeBron at 27, and then everybody else. Kuzma's the most meaningful player beyond that. And then they got to fill things out. And, Mike, it reminds me of when the Big Three assembled in Miami. Pat Riley had the luxury of those guys all coming at once and all agreeing to take pay cuts, or not pay cuts, but they took a haircut off of the maximum, and that freed up an extra $15 million for him to play with beyond that. This is going to be more challenging for Rob Pelinka. It's really going to depend on what types of players choose to go, but at least there's the perception that LA's back and that they're, Vegas has them favored to potentially win it.
Tom, in order, the most famous people and favorite people in New Orleans were Drew Brees, number 1. Then Anthony Davis could have been 2 and Emerald 3. But now AD's gone, so Dave Griffin moves into that second spot behind Drew Brees.
Yes, he does. He was America's favorite, but now he's New Orleans' favorite.
Tell me this. Would you say that they may go back and sign some of these guys that were with them last year that have become free agents? For example, Rajon Rondo being one of them, JaVale McGee perhaps another one that they might decide to retain. I bet you they wish they kept Zubac right now in this situation.
Yeah, no doubt. It's interesting. Are they going to get the quality of players the way Golden State has gotten, or the way, Cleveland at times got, where they were able to get high-quality guys that are hunting a ring and can really come in and help? Last year with the Lakers, when they started adding, it was like the land of misfit toys. I mean, they brought in Stevenson and McGee and everybody had some history. It was just, it just didn't fit. You could see that was a combustible group. So I think they need to prioritize character. I could see Rondo coming back. He's an important player for them, particularly when there's more talent on the floor, and he may take a lot less to do it. So, but beyond that, I don't know. I think they really need to go fresh and see what shakes out otherwise.
Well, one of the biggest names being reported, I think Mark Stein reported that Kemba Walker was on the table for the Los Angeles Lakers as a free agent. Again, he just seems like someone that they can't afford. Do they have enough cash for guys like Kemba Walker or someone of that ilk?
I don't think so, unless Kemba would really want to play in L.A. and be a part of that. I understand his name being thrown out there, but I don't know. I mean, he'd be the only one taking less than his market value. And that's when I go back to with the Miami situation. They all took less than their market value, and it sort of set this precedent where everybody did it, and they built the juggernaut. Here, I don't see Kemba taking less than his full max, in which case it's going to be, I don't think the Lakers can get there. And they may be better suited, rather than giving it all to one other guy, they may be much better suited sprinkling that, spreading it out in a way that they get multiple players who play important roles for them. I mean, they're going to be able to offer playing time. Any smart veteran knows that when LeBron is humming and you put another MVP candidate next to him, the game is easy for you, and you can get your minutes, you can get your touches, and you can get your glory. So I think L.A. is intriguing. They may be better off taking that $27-30 million and spreading it across a bevy of talent.
Tom, is there any way you could see Kyrie rejoining LeBron?
I did before Anthony came and took all that. I don't think Kyrie signs up for being the third fiddle. I think Kyrie leans more into a New York City opportunity where he's the star. He's always struck me as one of these guys, even as accomplished as he is, that he's just still on the rise, on the climb, looking for for his own legacy, his own situation, and I think he's still destined for big city that way.
Certainly a big trade in this first weekend of the offseason between the Lakers and the Pelicans. Appreciate your time, Tom Penn. Thank you.
All right, guys. Should be a fun week.
The Anthony Davis trade saga finally comes to an end. When we return, we take a look back